Hi, this is Whitney with PolicyPak Software, and in this video, we are going to talk about the superpowers of our Application Settings Manager. We're going to talk about enforcement, reversion, applock, the offline mode, and the switched mode. So let's go ahead and get started. We are going to be working with WinZip in this particular video because, well, it is a well-behaved app. So let's go ahead and get in there, and I just want to take a look at what's going on in the settings when it is not being managed. So we're going to look at this passwords tab here, and the defaults are minimum password length 8 characters, nothing is checked here, that's a-okay. Unmanaged machine, it's what we expect to see. So now let's go manage this application. So I have a GPO right here, WinZip right here in my Sales OU. So I am going to be working on the user side for the first part of this because we're going to talk about the computer side and the switched mode a little bit later on. So to start off with, we'll go choose the apps browsers in JavaPak and choose Application Settings Manager. And we are going to right click and choose a new application to work with, in this case WinZip right here. And we're going to get into this and start making some changes. So we're going to come over here to the passwords tab, and we are going to say that we need the minimum password length to be 11 characters here. Notice that when I made a change, it became underlined. This means that we are going to always reapply this setting. So these are the enforcement options. Always reapply this setting. Apply once and do not reapply in the background, but only reapply when you run a GP update/force, or you can actually make it a true preference and choose to apply once and never reapply ever again. You can also choose to perform an ACL lockdown at this point, which will go into the registry settings and take ownership of those settings so that your users can't drift for even a second. Now let's talk about the reversion. You'll see revert this policy setting to 8 when it is no longer applied. It is reverting to what the default should be. So you can say revert, and when you do, again, you have a quick visual here giving you the italics, letting you know that it will be reverted. So if I come here and check all of these boxes right here, let's right click. We can see that we can revert the policy setting to unchecked when it is no longer applied. So we're going to do that for these top two. We're going to leave the bottom two alone for the reversion. So now we'll talk about the applock features. So we can come down here and choose to hide the corresponding control in the target application, which is what I'll do here. And then we can also disable this, which will just gray it out in the UI on the endpoint. All right, we'll save this. Go over to our endpoint and run a GP update just to run forward the hands of time just a little bit, and then we'll see our handiwork. All right, let's open up WinZip right now and get into these options. We'll come over to the passwords tab and we're going to see, the minimum password length is 11 characters. We have all of these boxes checked. This one is actually hidden completely, and this one is disabled. So we see all of that working just like we meant for it to. But what happens if I am offline for some reason? Well, let's go ahead and disconnect our cables here, so to speak, and we will take a look. All right, we're going to come over here, we're going to run another GP update, and we're going to get an error message letting us know that we're not online. What are we going to do? All right, so let's close this out again, reopen it, and see if our options have changed. They have not. Let me see if I can be a naughty user and try to change this back and uncheck. Okay. All right, now let's try to go back. And we're going to see the settings are right back there all over again, because even when the machine is completely offline, we still enforce those settings. All right, so let me turn the internet back on. And let's see what happens when the policy falls out of scope. So let's get rid of this one. We'll delete. We'll come back over here, run our GP update again. We will get a regular message instead of the error. All right, and let's open up WinZip and check out those options again. All right, you're going to notice the minimum password length is back to the default, as is these top two here, but we said these ones didn't need to revert, so they did not. So there's your reversion. Now, finally, the switched mode, that is just the idea of driving user side settings into the computer side. So instead of working on the user side here, we can come over and create our policy on the computer side, which means that anyone who logs onto that particular machine is going to get these same settings. So we'll come over here, go to our Application Settings Manager, and we'll select WinZip once again. And just to differentiate it from our other ones, we're going to have our minimum password length will say 14 characters. We're going to check all of these boxes, but we will not hide any of them or disable them. We'll say OK. All right, now I'll come over here, I'll get my GP update, and then I'm actually going to log off and log back on as someone else so that we can see a different user on this machine getting those same settings. So let's log out here. Logging in as eSales user 5. All right, and you can see that here I am logged in. I am East Sales User 5. I am going to get into WinZip here. You can clearly see I'm on a different profile. And let's close this out. Check out our options. And there we go, 14 characters. All of these are checked. So there is the switched mode doing its superpower thing. So there it is. We were able to look at enforcement, reversion, applock, offline mode, and switched mode. And if this is as amazing to you as it is to me, then you're in luck. Get in touch with us and we will get you started on a free 30-day trial right away. Thanks so much.